Welcome again to the second episode of Who Are You? My name is Jacqueline Apuliezi and I'm with Kingsway Real Estate. Today's interview, we have the pleasure of learning about Tijana Daly. She's a virtual fitness coach. She's a holistic nutritionist and a fat loss expert for moms. Tijana also helps moms get lean and feel confident. And honestly speaking, who doesn't want that, especially right now? So thank you again so much, Tijana, for joining us and for taking some time away from your two young boys. And that must be super, super busy for you right now. So I really, really do appreciate the time. So I've known you and your family for quite a few years now. We've actually done a few real estate transactions together. And now I'm just super excited to get to know you more on a business level and see what information you have to share with us. So thanks again. We'll get started. So Tijana, describe your business a little bit for us.
Yeah, sure. So my business is entirely virtual. And so I work with women, moms specifically, virtually, and help them lose fat in a sustainable way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what made you decide to get started in this business?
So my business as it is now, what made me start to go virtual is I did personal training for a few years. And I always loved fitness and helping people in that sense. Mm-hmm. But I found that what I really wanted to do was help women achieve a specific outcome, which is to feel more confident at the end of the day. Because when it comes to people and whatever they want in terms of whatever they buy, really, they just want to feel better. It's all tied to a feeling. So what the thing about personal training is I found that a lot of people that wanted just the one-on-one were more so after checking the box in terms of like exercising and staying healthy. But a lot of the time they weren't really tied to I want to reach a specific body transformation goal in my experience. Mm-hmm. So I decided that I wanted to just, really zero in on what do you want to achieve? How do you want to feel? And just kind of work in all the different components of how we do that. And I found the best way for me to serve more people was going to be to go online because there's only one of me. And, if I'm going to spend an hour with each client just focusing on their exercise and then they don't see me the other however many hours a week, it's not going to be conducive to helping them in the long term. So, over the years, I just, decided I'm going to take the plunge finally before I had my second little one. And here I am.
That's awesome. Have you found that you're more busy virtually? You have more clients and customers virtually than one-on-one?
That's a great question. I guess I have about the same number of clients at the moment. Yeah. Well, for me, I'm in a unique position because my little one is 4 months old. So I'm not super hustling to get super full like I was.
Yeah.
But I would say busyness wise, I leverage my time better. Let's put it that way. So with the same number of clients, I spend more time creating beneficial resources and content for those clients rather than trying to schedule everyone in individually. Yeah.
That's super interesting. That's really cool. So what is something that most people don't know about your business? I feel like you just touched a few things there, but what else can you share with us?
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people are like, how do you work with people online? So I guess a misconception when I think about this would be people think I do one-on-one, but online, like a Zoom thing. And I don't do that. So I guess the biggest misconception is, or something people don't know rather, is how I actually deliver the things that people sign up for. Right. So I deliver all their workouts through a app. So the client does it on their own time.
Okay.
And so a lot of people are most surprised about that. They kind of think it's just me one-on-one, in their living room. And again, that's another benefit to the client that I don't do that because they don't have to schedule it in with me at that specific time. And they can do it on their own time and they can, look back on it again and again, as opposed to we just do it on Zoom and then we're done. So
exactly. And I feel like that might, you tell me if that's easier, especially with your clientele being moms. They're not saying, okay, let me book you 11 to 12. I don't have any children, but I understand that you can't really plan your day, right? So if you say, I have this resource when baby goes to take their nap or goes to bed, I can pop in my workout or look at your content then. Is that
exactly? Especially with COVID, because even the working moms, the moms that I worked with they have childcare, everyone's just kind of home with the kids. So
true. Yeah, I know. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. So what's something that people don't know about you? So I'm luckily, I follow you online and I feel like, this is another story, but you and I have, I feel like we have so much in common. The way we were, my childhood, kind of struggling between what to eat, maybe a little bit of the chubby phase, things like that. We've kind of grown into it. And so I feel like I resonate a lot with your content that you share online. So maybe for the viewers that don't follow you online, what's something that maybe you can share with us, something that maybe people don't know about you?
Yeah, that's a great one. I thought about that and I'm like, I'm a pretty open book. Like,
you are. I love it.
Yeah, you got to connect with people, right?
It's true.
Especially with something intimate like fat loss. But yeah, that's exactly it. I would say people who don't know me online probably don't know that I used to struggle with weight and I used to have a really bad relationship with food.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that people look at kind of fat kids and think like, oh, they're just cute. But I think that's it.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
You don't feel so cute, right? It's not even how you feel, but the relationship with food for me, it was a huge, huge struggle. And I think it just stems from a deeper like emotional issue.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people wouldn't know that I suffered from that because they think like, oh, let's say for instance, when a client starts with me or anyone that's a fat loss coach, they'll think like, well, you haven't been in my shoes. But the truth is I have. So that is a struggle that I used to have.
Exactly. That's interesting because, we follow people, we know trainers, this and that. And it's very rare that I know, what brought them there. How were they when they were a child or how were they when they were a teenager or whatnot? And I feel like, you look great, but you also share, I've struggled before. This is what I've gone through. And you can resonate because you have the 2 children and you understand, how another mom might be feeling. So I feel like that's, personal opinion. I feel like that's what really separates you from a lot of people is that you really share, listen, I know how you feel because I've been there. I didn't just go to school for it. Right. So good for you there. It helps me.
Thank you.
For sure. It helps
Good.
me.
That's great.
Yeah. So another thing, so what is one of the most memorable experiences that maybe you've had with a customer that you can remember?
Yeah, that's a great question. It was when I did a photo shoot for the first time with my clients. Which was actually almost a year ago now. And it's crazy how much changes in a year.
Right.
But yeah, so that was when I went, I was already training clients online, some in person, but, a few of them decided to do a professional photo shoot and just guiding them through that for the first time was definitely the most memorable experience so far.
That's really cool. So you set up the photo shoot and then you invited them to come?
Yeah. So it was a photo shoot at the gym that I used to train out of.
Okay.
And we did like, basically it was all the clients that I had that were kind of really already like next level. And they were like, I want like to commemorate my progress with this professional photo shoot. And I prepped them and then, kind of did it with them for the first time.
Yeah. That's awesome. Something really that's memorable for you and for your clients, right? That's really, really cool. I like that. What are some of the lowest lows you've had in your life so far? What got you through it? So again, it can be business. It can be more of a personal, if you just want to touch on a little bit there.
Yeah, that's a good question too. So I thought about it and I feel like a lot changes. People say a lot happens in a year and then, a ton happens in 5 years then. So I would say like 5 years ago, probably before I had my first son, I was like in a totally different place. And I think the lowest low it was just like just being in no direction in terms of like my career, leaving my kind of very temporary personal training job and working at this juice bar. And I just remember like the moment that was the breaking point for me was when I knew I actually wanted to have my own business was someone was asking me if like I could refill the napkins in the kitchen or the bathroom toilet paper or something.
Yeah. I know, like
I just remember thinking like, oh my God, like I'm 24. Like like I went to school. I don't want to have people asking me these questions. And I mean, I don't mean that in like a prissy way. I just thought to myself like, oh my God, like, I don't want to work for someone else refilling toilet paper in a bathroom.
For sure. Like, not to say you were better than that, but you knew you had so much knowledge and information to share and, maybe restocking something is not, wasn't the right thing for you to do. Right.
Exactly. I was like, why are my skills not, this is not the skill set that I have. So that was when, then I had my son and then long story short, things kind of changed from there in terms of like my greater vision and drive.
For sure. Wow, that's amazing. And 5 years is nothing if you look at it really. And to know that, you've had, and were you married 5 years ago? When did you and Brian get married?
No, we weren't married then actually. We were almost, hold on now. It was just over 5 years ago that I worked. We got married after that shortly.
After that,
so we were together.
Yeah. Amazing. Look how much that's changed. Wow. That's so cool. So with what's happening in the world today, how has your business been affected by COVID-19? I mean, you shared that obviously majority of your business is online, but has it changed maybe in terms of where your clients are being able to work out, maybe condo gyms not being open, things like that?
That's a great question, actually. So I feel like I'm I'm such a believer in being in a good mindset, especially when it comes to money. And, I think when COVID hit, a lot of people, no matter what industry you're in, we just felt so much uncertainty. So that first week, I'm not going to lie, I don't usually ever let these thoughts creep in. I'm very positive when it comes to like, abundance. But I thought like, oh my God, like people are going to be hanging on to money, like money's scarce. I was kind of having these thoughts.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening in reality, the way my business was affected was, it was actually positive now that I look at it, because a couple clients that I had that were not super serious in terms of like, getting to their goal were like, hey, I'm going to step back.
Wow.
So that opened up more spaces for me to take on a couple of new clients.
Okay.
And so actually what ended up happening was I kind of said, goodbye and good luck to like the ones that weren't already. And then I ended up getting more people who were really serious about their health.
Nice.
So it was kind of a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
It was an interesting shift.
Yeah. You made space for the ones that were really serious. That's really good.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Really good. Yeah, that's good. So now my bonus question to you. So I know where you live, but if maybe you want to share, where do you live? You don't have to give, the address. But what is something that you and your family really love to do, especially during these times and with the beautiful weather that we've been having?
Yeah. So as you know, we're really blessed to live near Humber Bay Park. I live in Mimico. And my favorite thing to do is walk to the beach with the rocks there. And, distancing and whatnot, obviously. But it's really easy to, even with the more people kind of going there, it's easy to kind of find your own space. And my son, my almost 4-year-old, just loves to go throw rocks at the beach there. And the sunshine's just amazing. So that's my favorite thing to do.
It is. That vitamin D, I mean, it's so good for our soul too. So we're really, really lucky to be getting this weather. I keep on saying it. If we were stuck in this situation in the winter, I think our attitudes would be a lot different.
Oh my God. Tell me about it.
So it's a blessing in disguise. That's for sure. And then the last question is, if people want to get in touch with you, how can they do so on social media accounts and whatnot?
Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram is the main hub. You can check me out at Daily Dose of Health. So Daily, DALY. Okay. And that's where you can find all the different ways that I may be able to help you.
Okay, awesome. And then afterwards, when I edit this video, I'll put your information on there as well, so everyone can grab that information. So again, thank you so much. Super short and sweet. I feel like I learned a little bit more about you, and I hope that both of our followers have as well. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to send them to me. And for those that are watching, if you want to be interviewed or have a friend or family member that would like to be interviewed, you can contact me at 416-230-8506. So thank you so much, Tijana. I'm sure you have 3 hungry boys waiting for you.
Thank you. I'm smiling. I'm sorry, because my 4-year-old is like, mommy, mommy, mommy. And I'm like, thank you, Jacqueline.
No problem. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye, Tijana. Bye.